Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint-Germain family. After Paris Saint-Germain's 3-0 victory and 17-game unbeaten streak, I asked you guys on Twitter if you could sign any PSG player, who would it be? And here are the answers that came from 101 comments. 5 players were tied with only one comment, probably because they're biased or are really weak in that position and went for more of a realistic signing. We have Lucas Beraldo, Gonçalo Ramos, Kangin Lee, William Pacho, and Warren Zara Emre with only one mention. With 3 mentions was goalkeeping giant Gianluigi Donnarumma. Goalkeeping market looks really bad as most other markets with Neuer, Courtois, Ter Stegen, Alisson, Ederson all at a very high age and pretty much watched in 2025. And despite Donnarumma not being extremely great, with him still being 25, we know that the upcoming years for him, he will dominate Europe. So I completely understand him being mentioned. This one was a bit questionable, but Ousmane Dembele only had 8 mentions. And this is most probably because he's old compared to the rest of the Paris Saint-Germain squad. And I also think some people think, Dembele, what he's doing at the moment is a huge purple patch. I mean, the biggest purple patch I've ever seen, apart from Rafinha's probably. But Ousmane Dembele, obviously here, he's scored 15 goals in 2025. No player has ever done that in a calendar year. And completely understandable having one of the best players, if not the best player in the world. Next up, we have 2 players on 10 mentions each. And both players were signed in the summer and the January transfer window. We have Khvicha Kvaratskhelia and Desiree Doué. Everyone is falling in love with Desiree Doué, similarly to Bradley Barcola last season. Young, energetic, dynamic, versatile, French star boy. And obviously everyone knows Khvicha Kvaratskhelia from his time at Napoli. He really hasn't done great stuff at Paris Saint-Germain yet, but it's mostly because of his time for Napoli and even with Georgia at the Euros. 13 mentions comes up with Nuno Mendes. As I said with the goalkeeping market, the fullback market, left back market is extremely cooked. There was a lot of United fans that are still salty about not getting Nuno and him extending a Paris Saint-Germain. But Nuno pretty much starts in every single club in the world. Completely understandable. Now we're moving to a little bit more mentions. Out of 101 mentions, Vitinha got 18 mentions. And who would have won Vitinha? Was in the Champions League team of the season last year. Had a great Euros with Portugal. Didn't start off the season as good as he ended last season. But he's just now coming back to it. And the thing about Vitinha is the big UCL performances. When everybody's watching Paris Saint-Germain, they see how great Vitinha is. Him as the 6th dictating the tempo, long ball merchant, penalty merchant, dribble merchant, progressive pass merchant. He is amazing. Vitinha for me has been the best midfielder since the beginning of 2024. That consistency, and he just developed his game even more and even better. Coming into the top 3 spot, we have Bradley Barcola in the 3rd spot with 21 mentions. Who wouldn't want Bradley Barcola? I just talked about Desiree Doué, but Bradley Barcola is now into his 2nd season, cooking harder than ever. I believe he has like 17 goals on non-penalty. He's definitely having a breakout season for Paris Saint-Germain, and a lot of clubs would love to have Bradley Barcola. Missing out on 1st place is Achraf Hakimi. A lot of Madrid fans still want Hakimi, even though we rejected them by extending a Paris Saint-Germain. But look, as I said with the left back market, the right back market is also cooked. And Achraf Hakimi, when you look at, the current game, you have Trent who can only attack really well. You have Koundé who can really defend really well. And then you got Achraf Hakimi who can do both really well. Has the stamina of a horse, has insane shooting ability, progressive passes. He has like 12 GA for Paris Saint-Germain this season. I don't think any defender is close to that. Apart from Koundé, actually, underrated. But obviously, Hakimi would start for any team in the world. And lastly but not least, the mostly mentioned player was just signed to Paris Saint-Germain for a 60 million bargain, and that is João Neves with 31 mentions out of 101 mentions. You know how crazy that is? We just signed this guy. This guy has I don't think many people watched him with Benfica. He didn't play with Portugal, but he's having 31 mentions, which just shows how great João Neves has been for Paris Saint-Germain this season, especially in the big games when it matters, from having a man-of-match performance versus Manchester City. And here are the players people would want to sign for Paris Saint-Germain, and it's completely understandable. When you equate in age and talent and ability, Achraf Hakimi, João Neves, Bradley Barcola, Vitinha, Nuno Mendes, Desiree Doué, Khvicha Kvaratskhelia, and a little bit of Ousmane Dembele. It's absolutely amazing. I remember when we were, performing really bad, I had who I critiqued, I had who I blamed. People said, no, PSG squad is too young, PSG squad is too bad, and now everyone is glazing our players. That just shows People don't understand football because they cannot differentiate between footballing ability and football performances. If you rate someone, you should rate him on ability, not performances. Not performances. Performances, you can rate him. The main thing should always be ability. You should never call a player bad if he's performing bad. If his ability is bad, you can call him bad. But performances and ability, there's a huge difference between it. And I've always defended my team. I've always said Paris Saint-Germain has the most talented squad in the world. And they're proving me right once again. That's been it from your boy PSG. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this interesting kind of video. And as usual, allez, 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 bye.